here to make another recipe. Actually, this week we're going to make two recipes, which are two of the many carnival fritters that there are in Italy. Now, the first set of ingredients is for fritters called crostoli, and what you need is 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 egg, a cup and a third of Italian 00 flour, a tablespoon of grappa or whichever other liquor you like, a tablespoon of olive oil, not too strong, and a tablespoon of wine vinegar, whether red or white. Now, I know this may sound weird, but you won't taste the vinegar at all in your fritters. It's only needed to enhance the crisp of your fritters. We'll be back in a second for the other set of ingredients, so just give me a moment. And here are the other set of ingredients. So for these other ones, which are called Crogetti and are typical of the area of Montepulciano, you need 2 cups of Italian 00 flour, 3/4 cups of sugar, 2 eggs, lemon zest, pretty much about 2/3 of a lemon or even a whole lemon. It's not gonna create any problems. A teaspoon of baking powder and about 2/3 of a shot glass of limoncello. The original recipe actually calls for santo. We are trying an experiment here, given the fact that there already is lemon zest and we're trying with limoncello. So we have no idea how the limoncello will be at the end. We'll figure that out. So just give me the time to set everything on my working place, and I'll be back in about 2 minutes. And here we are. So sift your flour with baking powder. You should always sift flour when you make anything. Flour tends to clump anyway, even if you think it's pre-sifted. It will clump no matter what. It depends on the humidity of the place you are. It depends on really many things. So sift flour, then here we go. And sugar and lemon zest. Give it just a quick stir. And then add eggs. Oh, by the way, these are extra large eggs. And your limoncello or santo, whichever you have. Again, santo is the one that should be used. Limoncello is just an experiment. It sure smells like lemon. So you just somehow mix it together. And then roll onto your working surface. We should have enough flour here, and we shouldn't need to dust the working surface, but I just had some extra flour on the side just in case we need to use it. Scrape everything and start kneading. Now, the preparation is not really very long, actually. One thing you have to remember, this dough needs to rest preferably in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes at least. Every dough should actually rest, because gluten gets stressed while kneading it. So just always consider that time when you are preparing something from scratch like this is. Okay, now we need some flour. It's a rather sticky and soft dough, so make sure when you put it in a plastic wrap to rest, just make sure your plastic wrap is actually floured, so that it won't stick when it's time to use it. I actually, even when I roll it out, I roll it on the plastic wrap, and always remembering to keep it floured. So we're pretty much done. Let's get some plastic wrap. Let's get some flour on it. Flour on your dough. And just somehow close it. Now I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, clean up the working surface, and get the ingredients for the other dough. So give me about 4 or 5 minutes. And here we are. We just put our dough in the refrigerator, so we are going on and doing, oops. See, this is not what it's supposed to happen. Here. So, again, sift your flour. You don't have any baking powder this time. These are going to be really, really thin, and we'll need the pasta machine in order to obtain the thinness we need. So that, sugar, quick stir, one egg, and this is our tablespoon of oil, 1 of vinegar, 1 of grappa. Okay, now we'll mix everything together, and then again we're going to work on our surface as soon as the ingredients are somehow combined. So here we are. Obviously, I didn't put it in the ingredients. You will need about, well, we don't know exactly how much you will need of olive oil to fry them, or sunflower oil. So just give me a couple minutes to knead this. So our dough was a little bit too dry, probably. The egg wasn't as big as I thought. Therefore, I added about another half a tablespoon of oil and half a tablespoon of grappa. And it's much better. It's still drier than the other dough because we have to go through the pasta machine with this one. It can't be as sticky and soft as the other one. So now we are going to plastic wrap this one too. You won't need to flour it. And a little more. And set this aside while we collect the other dough and roll it out. So got my rolling pin and the dough. So now usually this dough needs to be about a 1/4 inch thick, and then you cut it in whatever shape you like, squares, rectangles, hearts, whatever. I'm going just to cut it in squares or rectangles just because it's gonna be way easier and quicker. So it's really a soft dough, and with this amount of ingredients you'll probably have 40, 50 fritters. See how sticky it is. It was already trying to stick on the rolling pin. So we are almost done. Okay, now what we need is another piece of plastic wrap. Just to flip it over and take this off, put a little flour on this side, flatten it out, I am going to cover it with the other plastic wrap just because we don't want it to dry out too much. So I'll move it over on the side where we're gonna go and fry it when it's time, and then I'll start rolling out the other one. So give me about probably 5-10 minutes because the other dough hasn't rested enough. So we'll see each other in about 10-15 minutes. And the time has passed, so we unwrap our dough. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna roll out a piece of it actually we'll need this. to the thinnest available, and I'll show you how to shape the crostoli. So here we go. Oops. Now, I usually skip at least a couple times a number, just so we can get to the thinner faster. So and one last number. Okay, so you cut it in rectangles, kind of big, 3 short incisions, and then put one side in the first incision, the other side in the other incision. So here is bottom and top of the crostoli. What I'm gonna do, I'm going to roll out all the other ones, and we'll get back together as soon as I'm done for the frying. So we'll see each other in about, I would say, probably 15 minutes, maybe less. One more thing, when you roll out your dough, if it tends to stick to the rolls, just use a little bit of flour. Now this seems to be quite dry and it doesn't need any flour, but just keep that in mind. So we'll see you in about 10-15 minutes. And now we will be frying our Crogetti and Crostoli. What you have to keep in mind is your oil needs to be quite hot, but then you have to adjust the heat underneath, just because otherwise it'll get too hot. So first of all, we're going to put in the Crogetti, not more than 4 or 5 at a time, otherwise you lower the temperature of your oil too much. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as you can see, it puffs, and that's because of the baking powder. So we'll turn them a first time, and then we'll turn them again until they're golden. Then we put them on paper towel so that we can absorb excess oil, and at the end of everything you can sprinkle with regular sugar, confectioner sugar. Somebody also likes them drizzled with honey. That's up to personal taste. I prefer them just with confectioner sugar. What I didn't say about the crostoli is that given the thinness of the dough, it won't take too long to fry them, and also you can actually see they are getting gold. So now we're going to take them out. Try to drain all the oil that you can. almost done. So, and the crostoli. These are way faster cooking. Flip. Something you can do with the crostoli is you can cut them in squares and put a little bit of jam, jelly, custard, even Nutella or hazelnut spread anyway in them and fry. So these are done. Oops. And these are even a little bit too thick for my liking, but my pasta maker goes to that thinness only, so we do what we can with what we're given. Okay, so now I'm gonna go on and keep frying them. We'll get back together once I'm done. So, see you in about, oh well, probably 20 minutes. And now, here they are. Crogetti on the left side, crostoli on the right side. Now, with those quantities of ingredients, this is the amount of fritters we made. So, keep it in mind when you prepare your own. Would say that these are about 45 of these and maybe about another 40 of these ones, maybe a little more. So really keep it in mind. We just dusted them with a little bit of confectioner sugar and that's it. If you prepare them, remember that especially the crogetti need to be eaten within a couple days, at most 3, if you keep them in an airtight container because they tend to dry out. So I hope you'll try these recipes and you'll have fun doing it. We will see you again next week for another video recipe. Have a great day.